This portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
Police were on the scene at Hospital Lane and John Road this morning investigating the sudden death of a man found dead in a boat. Grieving family members on the scene identified the deceased as Tyson Cargill, who would have celebrated his 36th birthday today. Cargill's aunt, Anna Giddens, told our news team that when she returned home from work around 7:30 this morning, her nephew, who usually greets her, was not there. When she went to look for him, her niece broke the news.
In shock. The other day I was talking to him. He said, "Boy, Andy, right now I can be 36 in a little while. I ain't worrying, but nothing, say nothing in this life can face me." I said, "That's a good thing, Tyson." But nah, he even in here to enjoy it. Go on. He's the only person I could send any time, morning, noon, or night to the shop. So I need a new partner now, so I don't know who that can be.
Another aunt, Deborah Giddens, tearfully described Cargill, who was a carpenter by profession but didn't have a job, a full-time job that is, called him the life of the party and someone you could not be sad around. She says during a family picnic on Saturday, he was in good health. She says the family is now struggling to come to grips with his death.
Tyson was Tyson. He was a fun-loving person. Always have jokes. If you're feeling down, you could know. He would say something to make you laugh. Right now, I ain't my brush up to the sky because oh God, that's a shock. That's a shock to me. Because I know that this is his birthday and it was coming up here later, not as early as this, but that drove me out. So I guess I don't know what to say. His death and birthday would read the same thing. Hey, it's a tragic thing.
The start of the new academic year is only days away, and teachers are busy making final preparations for the hundreds of public school students set to return to the classroom. Education officials are assured that everything seems set for the reopening of school next week. However, the Bahamas Union of Teachers shares a very different view. Jimenita Swain tells us tonight that the acting president of the BUT is also hoping parents play a greater role in the education of their children.
Acting Vice President of the Bahamas Union of Teachers, Zane Lightbourne, said teachers are ready to return to the classroom. Lightbourne added that staffing is always a concern ahead of the academic school year, and it's no different this year.
We have a shortage of math and English teachers. We always can use more of those, but we have an oversaturation in the generalist area where the primary school teachers, we have still a number of them not able to be hired this year because we don't have the need for more generalist teachers. We need teachers that are experts in various fields, and so we are concerned that come this year it may be a bit strenuous on schools.
Aside from that, Lightbourne said another pressing issue is school repairs. He said contractors have given educational officials specific assurances.
Because there are still a few schools, I know that the 8 Mile Rock School in Grand Bahama, that was the major concern structurally. And the contractors were working on that school, taking out ceilings where they had a bad problem for some years. And so with all of the other basic construction work in terms of concrete, repair, we are hoping that that is done within the time frame. They said that they can make the deadline, but we're watching that closely.
As for police officers on school campuses, Lightbourne supports officers on the campus, noting that teachers, students, and police all have a role to play.
The police were never intended to be in schools to issue discipline or to intervene or interfere with anything to do with the student-teacher relationship. The police are there to protect against crime, and that is their job in the country. And so we trust that the police force have trained officers who can perform their duties and understand that when they are performing their duties on campus, that they're in the presence of students, they're in the presence of teachers, and they represent, at that point, part of the educational system.
Lightbourne says he and his membership are prepared to continue the work of strengthening the education system this upcoming academic year. Jimenita Swain, ZNS Network News.
For the past 9 years, Custom Computers has awarded students who have excelled in academics nationwide through its A's for Excellence campaign. Any student who earns at least one A grade during the final term of the academic year is eligible to win the award. Martinique Thompson, Tariq Gomez, and Neil Clare Jr. all walked away with goodies ranging from laptops, a tablet, and a printer. Students from the Family Islands were not left out, though, as the Family Island schools with the most entries, Long Island's Sims Primary School, also won a prize. Principal Gretchen Roll.
I'm going ahead in math, and I'm really excited for that because, I want to be an accountant when I grow up.
So I'm studying fine arts at COB, and my goal is basically to improve art in the Bahamas and bring something new to the table.
I've just attended the Mackerel training workshop last week, and the administrators workshop on Monday and Tuesday of this week, and the Sims training yesterday. So we have been empowered with lots of information to take back into our schools to bring about a positive change in our school environment. I am looking forward to it.
Minister of Education and Science and Technology, the Honourable Jerome Fitzgerald, fully endorses the A's for Excellence program, having seen the positive impact it has had on students over the years. He used the opportunity to congratulate both the Custom Computers team for their efforts and the students for their achievements.
So excellence is what we all strive for in education, and it starts with, of course, ensuring that the parents are totally committed. So I want to appeal again to all parents to get involved in your children's education, to speak positively and positive things into them, continue to assure them that they can succeed, give them all the love that they need so they can have the foundation and the security to think outside the box and to speak freely and to express themselves, which is part of their educational development. I want to encourage all the kids to continue to work hard and to get a solid foundation in education, because that really is the key for success.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm C.S. Scatterly. The Ministry of Financial Services and the Bahamas Financial Services Board are again collaborating on a broad outreach in Asia, using the 2015 China Offshore Summit Series as an anchor event. The Summit Series is designed specifically to educate Chinese financial intermediaries on the effective use of tax planning and asset management tools available in low-tax jurisdictions. The upcoming promotion includes a schedule of 4 events in 4 cities, starting with a Bahamas landfall event in Beijing on October 29th, followed by a second landfall event in Hong Kong on November 2nd. The Fall China Offshore Summit will take place on November 4th and 5th in Shanghai. Then the Bahamas team travels to Singapore for Step Asia on November 11th and 12th. In other business news, while many locals and visitors love the music and dancing at Goombay Summer Festival, many patrons were raving about the mouth-watering Bahamian cuisine served by scores of food vendors. The 28 vendors came from a pool of caterers vetted through the Ministry of Tourism's culinary department. Overall, vendors have been pleased with the turnout. Goombay Summer Festival continues this week at Arawak Key beginning at 4 p.m. And in international news, lawyers hired to compensate victims of General Motors' faulty ignition switches have finished determining which claims are eligible, rejecting 91% of them. The compensation fund, led by lawyer Kenneth Feinberg, approved 399 of the 4,343 claims filed and rejected 3,944. Camille Bureaus, deputy administrator of the fund, said on Monday the claims that were rejected couldn't support any connection to the ignition switch. This has been your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm C.S. Scatterly.
Children attending camp at the Centerville Urban Renewal Office last week got a crash course in survival thanks to officials at NEMA. NEMA's Operation Training Officer Luke Bethel held an interactive session with the campers, going over basic hurricane preparedness tips for children, also informing them about what they should know to survive in case of emergencies. Bethel says it was his intent to give the students useful information in a way they would understand, while reinforcing what they already knew.
What we're doing, we're discussing with the kids that are between the age of 5 to 15 on simply playing a part of family planning, of family emergency plans, etc. in community. But first of all, we took them on that walk of knowing certain things, being aware of certain things in the communities, critical facilities, critical places such as where the nearest clinic, the main roads that lead there, the police stations, the fire stations, the Department of Social Services, etc., knowing those things and how to contact them.
Officer in charge of the Centerville Urban Renewal Center, Assistant Superintendent Ricardo Richardson, says officials designed the week-long camp to be educational and entertaining. He says the information is timely, and by informing the children who are very intelligent, they can later assist their parents in the event of an emergency. Some 45 to 50 students participated in the camp that Richardson said would conclude with an island-wide tour.
Luke Battle, who is from Nemo, he is presenting on hurricane preparedness and what are some of the things that the kids should know in case we have some disastrous event or something like that. We had someone from fire service here to talk to them about fire safety. We had someone here from CID talking about cyber crime and cyber bullying, and then we had someone from the Nurses Association to come here and talk to the kids about first aid.
It may not be their favorite time of the year, but BTC made back-to-school preparations fun for scores of Central Andros students this weekend. From barbers to backpacks, Keishla Adley tells us in tonight's BTC Island Connection what else was on the back-to-school list.
It's time for the BTC Island Connection. BTC every day. Before they sharpened their pencils, they were sharpening up their haircuts. It was a first-time back-to-school event sponsored by BTC on a family island. This hairstylist had a long day ahead, and her first client some big goals for the year ahead.
This time I'm trying to make like a 4 points to make my mommy and my daddy proud. Because my sister, at least, well, she gets all of the stuff. I try to make, like, be smarter than her and stuff.
It was the giveaway of all giveaways. Hot dogs and hamburgers for the road, and school bags and supplies to lighten the load on parents.
We started the conversation about a month ago, and we decided to have it here in Central Andros. And that would be the students from Barron Point to Stafford Creek. Some 300 students.
Some children are unfortunate enough to have a heavy-duty school bag or a name-brand school bag, so we want to provide that make them feel just as good as those who can afford that with a heavy-duty bag, books, pencils, pens, and stuff like that.
ESREOK.
Students were hoping to pass this test as they prepare for many more this year. They also enjoyed a session of how to keep their brains sharp.
These are right here considered healthier substitutes. I'm sure you guys would have seen granola bars before, right? Sorry? Why don't you like granola bars? It has all the great stuff in there for you.
With just under a week to back to school, many parents also have goals like this mother who has already laid down the law.
What goals do you have for them going back to school this year? That they focus more, they study harder, play less, you know?
As the summer comes to an end, the advice as summed up in this song couldn't be more appropriate. Keishla Adderley for the BTC Island Connection.